Booyakasha, and welcome to day number 2 of week number 6 of Major League Table Tennis. Are you guys ready for the action? Then let's welcome our officials. Coming in first, William Chung and Peter Chung. And now the first team to battle, their number 2 in the West Division. Put your hands together for the Portland Paddlers! And their opponents, not too far up the West Coast and not too far behind on the food chain, the number 3 team in the West Division. Make some noise for the Seattle Spinners! Now that all the Warriors have entered the arena, let's shake some hands and slap some skins and let the games begin.
And let the games begin indeed. We are here on Saturday Night Live from the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton, California. And the first match of the night is between the Portland Paddlers and the Seattle Spinners. I'm Matt Hetherington, joined by Sean O'Neill, multiple-time U.S. national champion and Olympian. Sean, this division on the West has just been so tightly contested. Last night we had 2 ridiculous Golden Game showdowns. What can we expect today? I mean, these teams are fighting for a spot at the top of the table.
Yeah, we really have, with the Seattle team, a very young team of young guns headed by Kumar, going against the Portland Paddlers with Kole, top U.S. player, along with Ji-Wei Xia, really their heart and soul. Yeah,
and I mean, the point of differentiation between these teams here is so tight. Any team could come out on top here at the end of Saturday. Of course, we still have a full day of action tomorrow as well. We'll see all of these teams come up against each other across the weekend. Right now, the Bay Area Blasters at the top of the table after their strong performance last night. And the Portland Paddlers and Seattle Spinners really not too far behind. So,
with a 3-point differential, clearly not only playing to get the win with these two, but also to keep their momentum going for tomorrow's matches as well.
Stellar lineup here between some of the top players in the standings. So we'll start out with Kole and Kumar. Kole currently first on the Major League Table Tennis rankings. Nikhil a respectable 12th. We have another youth table tennis matchup in the second. Daniel Tran and Andrew Sau. Andrew Sau last night played phenomenally. He's at 16th on the standings. We'll have another doubles matchup. Kole and Rachel Sung again last night played phenomenally in their doubles. They'll come up against Amateo and Diaz. Tyrese Knight, the defender, plays against Lapeck, who we're seeing here for the first time this weekend. And we'll finish with Portland Paddlers' hometown favorite, Ji-Wei Xia, playing against Olajide Amateo. Some fantastic matchups there. How are you thinking about this first one? I mean, this is a great starting match.
This is going to be very important for Seattle to do well. I would say for Nikhil, it would be an upset if he could win this match. U.S. champion playing against 2-time U.S. Open champion. Kole, a lot of power, both forehand and backhand, as well as his serves have been very effective the whole season. But Kumar, just great fighting spirit. Plays with a little bit of change of pace, big forehands, takes the pace off the ball in the backhand, and you will hear him every single point he wins.
Yeah, he's really a player who causes a lot of rhythm problems for his opponents. Kole, we saw last night in his matches, he's getting through them, but we're seing a little bit of kind of discomfort. He's a little bit unsettled compared to what we've seen from him before, especially on the serve. We saw a lot of net serves last night and a couple of serve faults even from him. So a few uncharacteristic errors from him. But it'll be interesting to see.
I will say that mixed doubles match that he played with Rachel Sung last night against the all-male team. I've never seen two players hit on all cylinders like they did. It was just a buzz saw going through the Bay Area. Of course, Johan Hagman had that big injury yesterday. So next to Coach Lupa. Some of the fans are still coming in right now. It'll be interesting to see if Nikhil Kumar is able to handle that first heavy spin that Kole gives him. He's going to try to chop block it, play off of it. There's so much spin. If he doesn't put it in the best place, Kole will jump on the next one.
Yeah, I think also how Nikhil handles the serve return. Well, both of these players actually have pretty strong service games. Nikhil Kumar is going to start with the serve.
Red. Ball.
Nikhil is not going to be able to play a safe ball on the third ball right after he serves. He's going to have to put something behind it. Look for Kole to really dig the serves back deep. That's going to be the problem there. Nikhil goes soft on the first ball. Kole's table game will just put pressure on him wide to the forehand, wide to the backhand.
Yeah.
And here comes the big bullet forehand.
Let's see how Kole handles his serves today. Bit more comfort there. Again, like you said, against the left-hander, targeting that wide forehand, really important. I mean, Nikhil's really stable. He has quite a wide footwork stance, so great balance. But when you get him out really wide, things slow down a bit, especially with the shot quality.
That's it. Any of our fans that are watching, if you play against a lefty regularly, playing out to their forehand will work, but you got to be careful because they can play out to your forehand as well. And we'll see that in this match. Both players, when they get a weak ball, often they'll take it wide out to the forehand side.
Coming in for the
5-0. What a start for Portland.
I think one of the big challenges here for Nikhil is, I think against the majority of players in this league, he'll be able to cause really significant issues. But Kole seems really comfortable out there, especially in the short game. He's not going to make too many unforced errors.
It's not an easy side spin and side top serve to keep short. Nikhil really has to take that off the bounce quickly. Otherwise, if it pops up, it's going to be point to the paddlers. Frustration there.
Reverse pendulum serve paying dividends for Kole today.
Just not much angle to work with when he plays it with his backhand. You see Kole just coming in, control flip, putting a lot of pressure on Nikhil to make a big shot. And there's the heavy push.
And you have to wonder whether, obviously, Kole's going to play into the backhand. And Nikhil's openings are a little bit softer. You have to wonder if Nikhil's going to put some pressure on himself to attack more on the backhand. Just not finding his mark in this first game. 10 points to 1. A very one-sided start. And he goes for it and almost catches that outside corner. Risky play there. Why not when you're winning 10-1 as well? He's got to be careful he doesn't let the momentum shift. I mean, even if Nikhil can recoup 5 or 6 points here overall, it's going to help him in the second. But he won't. 11-3 the first game for Kole over Nikhil Kumar. It's going to be back to the bench. It's the reason why Kole is the top of the Major League Table Tennis standings, ahead of this weekend with an 86.7% win rate in singles, 13-2. He's only adding to that each week.
It's going to be very interesting when we're in Rock Hill to see how the West players line up with the East Coast. Many more European players, especially in the professional leagues, whereas on the West Coast, got a lot of Chinese stars who are doing more coaching.
Yeah.
But very strong resumes, especially with somebody like Kole, who's won the U.S. Open a number of times and playing for Ukraine at the Olympics. One time, I believe his world ranking was top 30.
Yeah, I think he got to 20.
Yep.
I remember he had one, I'm going to say European Games perhaps, where I think he made the singles final and just played phenomenally.
Second game, Kole
He's
serve.
just a great technical example for players to follow. Kumar just really struggling with the receive against that reverse pendulum serve. Lots of variations from Ko, and also changing the starting position on the table as well to get different angles. And Kumar
much smarter there, just working the point, number of drop shots before finally a ball pops up. Nikhil goes for the big forehand. That's the problem there. When Nikhil makes his opening backhand for Kole, that's not a big deal. And then right from there, Nikhil's going to have an issue keeping the attack going.
One of the difficulties with someone like Ko is that you can't play soft too much. Maybe it's like a one-off variation every now and then, but if you give him time, he's just going to turn things around really quickly. And great commitment to the forehand there.
Excellent step around, just again going out to the forehand like we mentioned, very common. But Nikhil has to play sustained offense. He has to make his shots. It's not going to block Kole down. Kole just has too much spin on the ball. I would hesitate to do a chop block that pops up a little bit against Kole. He's come in so quickly and enjoys finishing the ball.
Quick hands from both players, but Kole comes out on top.
Nikhil played a great combo here. Backhand off bounce, forehand off the bounce, and he gets passed on the backhand side.
I think if anything, he probably targeted the same spot on the table a couple of times too many.
That's good.
I think this second game so far, he's done a much better job of having a bit more confidence in his short game. I mean, Nikhil's short game is great. He's got really good touch close to the net. He's just got to, sometimes you don't have to be the player that attacks straight away off the short.
That's going to be the problem. When he goes short, if there's any type of pop-up, Kole is so effective. It's tough to gauge where Kole is going to go with that forehand attack. Kumar said sorry as fast as he could, knowing that that forehand was quite open.
And down the line, backhand control from Nikhil Kumar. 6-5 lead for him in the second.
Just really good table game by Kumar here in game two. Not doing anything fancy, but just keeping the pressure on. Good placement with the soft opening. Pinpointed it exactly to the elbow Again, every one of these games matter. It's not just to win 2 out of the 3, but to try to take 3 if you're Kole.
And a swing and a miss from
6,
Nikhil
7.
Kumar. Kole just out there looking reliable as ever. Drawing it back to 7-7.
Nikhil has to keep his serve short. He doesn't want to start dealing with serves that go long.
It's worth noting these two players in singles are pretty close to each other. Coming into this weekend, Nikhil 12-3, 80% in singles. Of course, also picked up a comfortable win against David Macbeth last night. And he's gaining some strong momentum here. 9-7 in the lead. But Kole with the serve.
Well, that's a deep push there.
9.
Almost a third ball attack style. And Kumar's doing a nice job of dropping the serve short.
Top spin variation on that reverse pendulum. Kole brings it back to 9-9. He's had a fantastic match so far off his serve. Lots of points straight off the serve. Other points won off great setups. And Kumar off the bounce with the backhand. Sets up his first game point.
This reminds me a little bit of Adi Serene during the 2020 final Golden Point. Kole had issues with not the power, but just keeping the ball in play.
Kole with the counter. Just not quite enough pressure on that backhand opening. Again, you're seeing Kumar a little bit too often heading right into the middle of Kole's forehand. Takes it down the line. Kumar again, this time opening a little bit quicker and earlier, but the placement the same. Still into the middle of the forehand.
Almost hitting his paddle.
I think Kumar played a number of great shots, great quality shots, but you could just see the placement constantly went back to the same place. And Kole just sitting on his forehand, waiting for the opportunity to finish. And he does. Team on their feet.
You know, after the point, Jiwei Shah is going to be the first person standing up. But great teamwork, Rachel Sun, Tyrese Knight, as well as...
So we'll take a look at some more of those points again. You'll look at that rally, you'll see the placement, that diagonal line from the backhand corner. Just too comfortable for Kole, and we saw a multitude of points hitting that kind of middle third of the forehand. I think Kumar's placement is going to have to change it up a little bit.
And I don't know if his backhand can go any wider, just the way he comes into the ball. Maybe he can go more to the center, but then Kole will step around and use his forehand.
Singles number 2 previewed up in the corner there. Daniel Tran against Andrew Sau. A couple of young rising stars in the US. Of course, we saw a similar matchup yesterday between Andrew and Daryl Sau. Kumar knows he needs to make up some ground here for the Seattle Spinners.
Love 2. 7-2.
Very difficult ball to punch just because the amount of spin. Kohle's probably putting 10 to 15% more spin on his loop than Nikhil is normally dealing with, especially against other US players.
I think one of the things that players can learn from watching Kohle is how important mechanics are. I mean, he looks so effortless, but his 70% it's enough against players from the US.
It's like 120.
Yeah, exactly. This time, Kumar really trying to put some pressure on it and changing the placement up a little bit, I think is more of a deciding factor for him. Kohle trailing 2-4. Let's see what he can do with the serve.
Haven't seen this forehand serve that often.
You have to wonder if he's changed it a little bit. I know a ton of net serves yesterday, a couple of faults. We saw a lot of players having some trouble with the serve. Maybe the nerves, maybe the pressure.
Maybe the height of the net.
Yeah, possibly. We do have two umpires out here who did the net check again today. So right now, Nikhil Kumar leading 5-3. The Portland Paddlers off to a flying start in this Saturday team tie.
5-3.
Just a lot of pressure on Nikhil off of that serve. Quality serve. Not really sure if he should be trying to finish the backhand or just spin it on. Kohle about to step around and play a backhand off the forehand side.
Quick counter there, cross to the backhand corner.
Excellent play by Nikhil.
Yeah, much better placement changes. Redirecting down the lines worked really well for him, particularly as a left-hander. The backhand to backhand down the lines are a real advantage.
He's used to that angle, that straight. Again, the heavy chop deep into the backhand.
7-5.
If Nikhil just does a soft opening on that, Kohle is going to just rip it. If he goes for a winner, he's got to make sure it lands because it's not really reading the spin or getting in position. He's having a lot of difficulty. Kohle knows it, so off of most of the serves, he'll just dig it deep. Force Nikhil to get into the point from an uncomfortable position.
Oh, outstanding work there from Kohle.
Just great footwork here to get around the ball. One extra step, opened up the whole forehand. Now there's a timeout by Seattle.
Very early timeout here. Of course, there are 2 timeouts for each team in these first 5 individual matches, 4 singles and 1 doubles. And then a further timeout available for them during the Golden Game. You can see down in the team segment, in the score section, a couple of dots there. Portland Paddlers still with 2 timeouts remaining. Now Portland last night had an anguishing defeat, losing out 21-20 in the Golden Game against the Bay Area Blasters. And they'll be wanting to make a strong start here, and Kohle has done just that. But Nikhil Kumar is trying to get in here and get 1 point. Of course, the Seattle Spinners also winning their match last night, so these 2 teams both had a pretty mixed Friday.
Net. 7-6.
time. Kumar opening slow down the line. Definitely very different to opening cross. Different response from Ko.
There's so much power behind his regular forehand.
Ko gets up over the table on that one. Swing things around here, now leading 9-7 and looking to get Portland off to a 3-0 lead.
Great combination there by Nikhil. Nice opening and the ability to keep the pressure on. Needs 2 more of those.
They get 1. Now the difficult task for Kumar, receiving the next couple of points.
Kohle's been showing us his normal reverse pendulum, the forehand high toss, and now he's been going to the backhand serve. So really giving a lot of different looks to Nikhil.
Kumar just needs 1 here to give himself a chance to have the serve and the golden point at least.
It's a tough angle to create, and a strong backhand from the forehand side of the middle. Just the angle isn't quite there.
Risky play. And Ko goes for the big backhand opening. Kumar 10-10. He's going to give himself a chance here to hold the serve going into this golden point. It's contrary to normal table tennis in Major League Table Tennis at 10-all. It is sudden death.
1 point
to rule them all. And a big setup. That down the line ball that worked so well for Kumar. And a handful of points during the match, serving him perfectly on the golden point. He'll claim 1 point back.
And Kumar,
Seattle.
It just seems he's such a great opportunist. He gets those final points. Really, Kohli was dictating most of the game, but Nikhil got all the easy, quick points and then scores at the end, finishing off 2 games that went down to the golden
Kohli,
point.
all smiles, kind of showing his team a little bit of frustration at missing that last backhand. It was right there for him. But 2 games to 1 for Kohli, gets Portland off to a great start. Fantastic match, a good opening for you. Portland, last night you had a really, really close match with Bay Area and lost out by 1 point in the golden game. How important was it for you to get out here and kind of guide the team and get out here and get this first win under the belt?
Yeah, yesterday we lost, so today is a new day, right? Yeah, so forget about last night and then try to play better today. Then just concentrate every single point. Then win, lose, doesn't matter.
So, Kohli, I will say, although you want to forget about last night, your next match is doubles, and you and Rachel played so well last night. What do you think worked in your favor to make last night so easy to take 3 points against Bay?
Actually, the timing in the match was really really perfect. I mean, like after her start loop, and then I got next ball really comfortable, you know. Yeah. So next match doubles, but you know, like yesterday, Tao, the Spanish, they never played together,
right.
So they don't know each other what they're doing. So they don't play so, they don't play very good. So on the match, who play better, who wins.
Yeah. And just looking at your match with Nikhil just now, Nikhil, he plays a lot of awkward balls, changes the timing. How did you go about handling that?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult for me. Every time I serve tall spin, he drop short.
It's magic.
I can't attack. Yeah, it was really, I'm in trouble, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, great match to get the team started, and
First
we'll
game,
head to the next match. We'll see you in the golden game.
Okay.
Bravo.
So, the youth showdown, Daniel Tran, Andrew Zhao. The first time this weekend we're seeing Daniel Tran.
1-1.
This is also his first time playing off against Seattle.
He played so well in Katy.
On home turf.
Home
I
turf.
guess they both are.
Yeah. Taking a 3-game sweep and then playing super big in the Golden Game, sweeping there as well.
1-2.
When they were playing against the Texas Smash.
It'll be interesting to know how often these two are playing with each other now, in matches or in practice, now that they're in the same area again. Sure, we'll find that out.
If I was in either of their shoes, I would be making it at least 3 to 5 times a week. To have somebody my age, same aspirations, very close in level, and also the righty-lefty is great. And you can play against a player, especially for Andrew, to get somebody. Daniel has such good serves.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, Andrew played great against Daryl Zhao yesterday. In quite a flawless match. Got in a lot of power. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now against the left-hander with the opposite angles.
2-5.
Going for that big forehand that really saw him perform so well yesterday. Of course, we've talked about this on multiple occasions and probably will more. The MLTT Fantasy League. You can sign up at fantasizer.com. Get a chance to win some cool prizes by choosing your 8-player team lineup each round.
Generally, you cannot go wrong with choosing Kole. He tends to do quite well as the leader of the power rankings. But he cost a little bit more.
Rightly so, too.
2-8.
So Daniel Tran off to a flying start here. Bit of a lucky break on the net there from Andrew Zhao.
I really like when Daniel is in full attack mode instead of just kind of copying a little bit of what Nikhil does with just the lefty placement. When he gets his loop going, he can really rocket the ball in both directions.
Well, I think one of the main factors here is Andrew yesterday when he was playing Daryl, he was very worried about the quickness on the backhand and, you know, saying, I don't want to play backhand to backhand with him. Of course, Daniel's going to be playing backhand quick into Andrew's forehand. You can see there when it's slow, Andrew is able to wind up. And
Get a full swing.
in terms of forehand power, he's really a very dominant player. But if Daniel's able to play with quickness and take that timing away, that changes a few things.
Now that soft opening isn't going to put any fear in Andrew. He's going to just re-loop it. Good placement, jamming Daniel Tran into the body.
In the last encounter, oh, it's going to be a
Early timeout.
very early timeout here in this match. Both teams know the importance of guiding their young players to get this win under their belt. Christian Eliarus, Portland Paddlers coach, bringing Daniel Tran back to the bench after developing a really big lead here in the first game. It's 8-2 lead for Daniel Tran, and that has dissolved rapidly, starting with a bit of a netball, but ultimately coming down to Andrew forcing some softer openings and getting his timing on the forehand.
And just really waiting to letting the material kind of just show itself and waiting for Daniel to throw something over the net to play against. Now at 8-7, that would be a huge comeback. And almost
It's like somebody has left the light on the back of their phone.
auto flash.
So, Daniel Tran with just 1 point of breathing room here in the first.
7-8.
Andrew Tsao will have the serve. He's been utilizing the backhand serve, trying to get that angle to bring the ball back to his forehand. Ties it up at 8 points each.
And sometimes those timeouts can be very debilitating after you've had a lead and the coach stops it, so the momentum doesn't keep going, and then you miss the very next one and the next two.
8-9.
Tran going for the long fast serve to the backhand. And this time Tran gets in with the counter loop, but again, forehand placement and a little bit of time. Andrew Tsao just powering through it.
It seems like Andrew is always winning the battle of the amount of spin on the ball. Tran's still trying to get his tempo and his speed going.
And that forehand will get the job done. 8-2, the lead from Daniel Tran. And Andrew goes on an incredible 9-point run to steal away game one. When you have two players that are matched pretty evenly, level-wise, a 9-point run is just such an impressive, and with the timeout in the middle as well.
How about a 3-point run? He did that basically back to back to back, and just the positive energy that Andrew Tsao is showing, playing his game the whole time. I mean, we didn't see anything that he's not normally doing regardless of the score, and Daniel just kind of was out there.
No better player description for Andrew Tsao than forehand dominant.
Just lining it up. That was a really nice backhand off the bounce, kept the ball and point really nice and low, and again, looking to get that forehand in.
This is really the smart thing for a player like him. When you have such a strong forehand, it's figuring out the best way to use your backhand to apply pressure. Anything that gives you a chance to get onto the forehand and to use your strength. Andrew's a smart enough player to realize that he doesn't have to swing for the rafters on his backhand. He just needs to get that initial quality to get control of the rally. Now, in week 2 is the only time that either of these players have played against each other's team. Andrew faced off against Rachel Sung, won 3-0 in that singles match, which has helped him have an 8-4 singles record, 67%, which would have been added to yesterday with his win over Daryl Tsao. So he's really making a name for himself on the singles standings in this league, which for a player of his age is really impressive.
And Matt, I just love that both these players at their current age are getting this opportunity to be on center court and have it amplify. Okay, so you lost 9 points, and that should mean something. It should stick with you, so that next time you're out there and you get that big lead, you make some small changes or you don't do the same thing. Well, Andrew is just looking so crisp.
I think one of the things, especially from today when I got here, was just seeing how focused they both were in their preparation for the match. Doing their stretching, doing their rolling, going through the motions of choosing what to eat before they play the match, and getting their warm-up in and stretching and all of that kind of stuff. It's really cool to see them embracing this professional league. And enormous forehand there. Just can't see any of those coming back.
I mean, just Herculean, just lining it up and pulling the trigger. And again, along what you're saying is that with Daniel Tran, getting the warm-up with Kool-Aid. So he's going to get better practice than he probably gets at home, playing stronger players, but then the spotlight is on him. He's got to, and we saw with Adi Gadwani yesterday, he lost to Tyrese Knight the first time, and then he came up big like the follow-up revenge match. So these are the opportunities, really the golden opportunities for these kids to gain valuable experience and to help their team.
Daniel Tran just struggling to get control in these rallies. Particularly having a bit of difficulty on the back end, where usually he's quite strong.
It's just, I look at the body language of both players, and Andrew Sao just so positive. Again, looking at his legs, you can see he's probably looped more balls in a multi-ball ripping situation. Daniel plays with a lot more tempo, a lot more placement. If Andrew wins the battle of who gets the first big shot, his offense is going to penetrate Daniel's every time. Daniel's just putting pressure on him a little bit like Nikhil. Move it around, change it up.
Yeah, there are definitely some mirrors between the first and now second match. We're seeing that same strategy to try and set up that soft opening.
Almost to be a little bit like a monkey wrench from Daniel Tran, never giving Andrew the same ball or the same tempo 2 times in a row, but his footwork, Andrew's footwork is so strong. You see him moving around. Just constant pressure.
I think right now, if you look at this match as a whole, every point where Andrew has initiated the offensive, he's come out on top.
Yeah. Back
Just
edge.
Clips the back edge.
8-4.
But Andrew's doing a nice job on those deep serves just to pick him up off the bounce with his backhand. Put a little bit of spin behind it. And Daniel Tran needs to get some offense. He needs to connect 2 or 3 offensive shots and not just be a blocker out there.
Goes for a little bit too much.
8-5.
Shot was there.
Certainly a higher rate of unforced errors from Daniel Tran. Looking a little bit tense in some of the shot making.
Oh, that's a beautiful forehand by Andrew Sao.
Just missing that opportunity.
Game to toe.
Andrew Sao will take game 2 by an even larger margin now, 11-5. And Daniel Tran just not connecting well with the ball in some of those attacking situations. Seen him struggle on the attack, but also struggle on the defensive.
Yeah, I think a lot of with Daniel's issues are sometimes when he makes the first attack, he doesn't step forward to keep the attack going, and he's caught back, and then he's having to lift up on that second ball versus when you watch Andrew, he's always driving forward. He makes a good opening, and then that next ball places him closer to the table. Daniel tends to spin up and then just kind of hang there versus put a lot more pressure.
Just seeing lots of unforced errors from Daniel Tran, but just momentum and positivity just spewing out from Andrew Sauer.
That was such a great forehand.
He's just kept the pressure on. I mean, even when he's out of position, he just finds a way to get himself at least balanced so that he's playing with enough quality to give himself a chance. Looks like he's just gone overtime a little bit there on the ends. A yellow card. He's not sure what he's getting that for. Probably didn't hear the umpire calling him back to the table. Tran getting him with the short ball.
Let one block.
Just a barrage of forehands.
Jeez.
But good to see from the start here in this game, Daniel Tran getting a little bit more consistency, spinning the ball, giving it a little bit more safety.
And if Daniel can take the attack away and just turn Andrew into a blocker, that's such a difference between Andrew's forehand and Andrew's blocking, then Tran will have enough time.
One of the things that I like the most is when Daniel came back to the table, he saw the yellow card, didn't know what it was for, didn't even bother to ask. He just went straight in and was like, I've just got to get on with it.
2-all.
This is a big point for the paddlers to try to even it up. Kind of doing what Nikhil did to Kole. Of even though you're down 0-2, let's not get a sweep. And that's a good place loop by Daniel Tran. He has to take advantage of the weak serve returns. It's a strong counter loop by Andrew Sau. It was a good opening from Daniel Tran, but backhand to forehand exchanges. I'm going to pick Andrew in that pattern every time.
Tran can't afford to have any errors on these opening shots. And serve receives, just basic execution.
3-5.
Right now it's back to business as usual. Players have swapped ends, and Andrew continues his march here. Oh, just tees off on that forehand.
That looked like a Kole forehand rip.
Almost had more power on it. Just phenomenal technical execution on the forehand from Andrew Sau. Be careful not to go too early.
Maxing out on the RPMs, continued on the backhand side. And
did notice the umpires left the yellow card on Andrew's side. So
after that previous forehand, I don't think.
4-8.
Well, we'll have a doubles coming up next. as you mentioned, Sean, in our little interview with Cole, the doubles combination of him and Rachel Sung yesterday really proving why the team has put so much trust in them. They're going to come up against Olajide Omateo and Fabiola Diaz.
5-8.
Should be a great showdown.
Omateo and Diaz are solid. Great balance of Diaz's backhand punch. Mateo's forehand. Should be a great match.
Yesterday,
8-6.
Diaz and Omateo won their doubles against Dave Macbeth and Amy Wong, which is a great win for them. So both of these teams winning their Friday matches. Just impeccable. The timing of almost every forehand counter he's played has been perfect.
Holding the table so well, not backing up an inch, waiting for a slower loop to counterattack.
I mean, right now, if you look at his match with Daryl yesterday and you look at this match with Daniel, you have to wonder what the potential is for him in youth table tennis here in the US. I mean, he's already under 17 national champion, but he's just tearing through his closest opponents in the youth category here. 10-7, looking for a 3-0 sweep.
Right, these matches send a message for junior trials as well as national championships and US Open.
He won't get the first point. Tran just holding on here. Zhao will have 2 serves.
My question is, can Tran do exactly what Nikhil did, which is be down 0-2, but just sneak that extra game in game 3? He'll have the serve if it goes to the golden point. Andrew's done all the heavy lifting this game, but there only 1 point separates them.
10-9.
Calling a let there. Zhao's reliance on the backhand serve has paid off well for him. And flawless stuff from Andrew Zhao gives him a 3-0 lead, 11-8, 11-5, 11-9. Sean, what a display from Andrew. I mean, 2 days in a row. Just thrilling display of power and timing from Andrew.
Just great temperament also, never playing outside of his comfort zone, just working the point, getting his strength into play, and staying focused.
Certainly crushing it out there. Andrew, fantastic match now 2 days in a row against a couple of your competitors here in the US in youth table tennis. You played with Daryl yesterday and talked about his speed. What are some of the adaptations to your tactics you had to make with Daniel being left-handed and having some different angles at his disposal?
First of all, I had to make my receive really well because he served a lot of topspin, and if I pushed those, he would have first attack. So I tried to flip when he served topspin and play rally with him, but not too fast because he likes it. But I just played my own game, and I felt really good that match.
Looking as a coach, Andrew, your forehand is such a big weapon, but I almost think that your footwork is what sets everything up. How much time do you spend on footwork drills versus just landing that big forehand?
Every day. I just practice every day footwork, and yeah.
It really shows. I think throughout your matches yesterday and today, it's just really set you apart with the other juniors of being able to get into position at will. And then some of your forehands today were just insane, the amount of power you had behind them.
Right. You guys are both based in Texas. How much do you guys practice with each other often?
Yeah, we practice like 3-4 times a week, so we both know each other's game really well, and then, yeah.
Did you find that to be an advantage for you in this situation, or is that something that
No,
do you
I
generally
mean,
struggle when you play against someone you know?
it's always 50-50 because you know their game, they know your game, and whoever's playing better that day and whoever has the better strategy wins.
Well, you certainly played better today. Well done, Andrew.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the Golden Game.
Thank you.
Flawless performance from one of the USA's young rising talents. Now a doubles showdown, a mixed doubles here between Kole, Rachel Sung, and Oluchide Omateo and Fabiola Diaz. Fabiola having the honor yesterday of clutching the last and most important point of the Golden Game over Amy Wong.
If you're going to win 1 point,
That's the one to do.
The whole team match. Just win that final one.
So both of these teams have got some good synergy working together with each other. Fabiola typically serving a lot of long serves in the doubles. We'll see how that goes against this pairing.
1 love.
Now these two pairs haven't played each other before. The last time Omateo and Diaz played against the Portland Paddlers, they played against Kole and Kayla Goodwin, who was brought in from the draft pool.
Right.
They won that match 3-0. That was 2 weeks ago.
Rachel was busy, along with Lily Jung and Amy Wong, winning the Pan Am Games women's gold medal. So they were exempt from playing.
Rachel was out there winning teams and doubles, along with Amy Wong. Oh, great touch shot there from Mateo, just twisting the ball around the net. One lead here for Diaz and Omateo.
Omateo is so strong. He can finish shots from any angle on the table, but his forehand. Matt, I think last night the big difference with the paddlers doing so well was when Rachel Sung makes her first attack. There's no ball that can be returned that Kole can't take a full swing at.
Yeah.
The thing is with Fabi, she's so good with her backhand that she can take a lot of pace and spin off the ball. That's a nice backhand right there.
Perfect example of that too.
She'll play backhands 3/4 of the table. Of course, as you said, her serves very active, and in doubles, players aren't used to dealing with a deep serve. Oh, great over-the-table loop by Kole.
Does a great job of getting that ball down the line too. You could see Omateo getting ready for the forehand cross.
That ball had a lot of dip on it off of Fabi's forehand.
If you're watching the YouTube live with us, you may have noticed the commissioner of Major League Table Tennis, Flint Lane, in the chat. So if you have any questions about the league, now's your chance.
If you'd like to jump onto a team, let him know.
Now. Quick before the intermission. Mateo going in for forehand flick attack.
10-6.
Fabulous duo
27.
clawing back a few points here.
Great block by Rachel Sung on the counterattack.
8-10.
Such soft hands up at the table.
They did a great job as a pair of driving Diaz and Mateo back from the table. 8-10. Comeback opportunity here in game one.
Paddlers
9-10.
with a big final surge here in game one. Knocking Mateo down on the ground.
And what a decisive serve return to clutch that win. First game going to Olajide Omatayo and Fabiola Diaz, 11 points to 9.
And we've seen Omateo hit a number of winners on game point at 10-9, going after the serve. Such a great shot maker. Now the tables will be turned.
You can see Ko in that slow motion replay apologizing to his partner Rachel.
This game will be Omateo hitting to Cole. So advantage to Portland in this game.
Saw in that first game a great start from Seattle Spinners pair. Chide just phenomenal on some of those backhand flick receives. As usual, exhibiting great power. Fabiola retrieving some fantastic shots. But we did see some momentum pick up towards the end there from Sung and Lei. So we'll see if that helps them get a better start in game two.
The contrast in different styles where Rachel Sung and Cole are just out there working together as a team. And then you have Omateo and Diaz just shot making, just taking their shots, whether it's the deep serves, whether it's the misdirections or the curves around the net or the flip kills at the end. Doubles can work both ways.
Sung not quite hitting her mark. Yesterday she was unbelievably consistent with her first openings, backhand and forehand side. And
that's going to be difficult. Anytime Cole loops into Fabi's backhand, that ball is going to have some crazy spin on it. And there's the backhand kill.
You can definitely see that Rachel's not as comfortable against those punch drives. More of a dead ball. And Fabiola Diaz gets a little handcuffed there on that one.
And we know who in the audience is loving that last point.
Big smile on his face. He's pointing at some of the other bench who enjoyed that one.
2-3.
This service combo right here with Fabi Diaz against Rachel Sung, it'll be interesting if Rachel goes strong offense on the deep serve or just controls it. That time she took all the pace off of it, gave Mateo nothing to work with. Here comes the deep serve. You can see the hand signal. But Cole's ball is not easy to track.
Mateo's serve receive has been a big factor.
Great technique, comes with an open face and just flips right at the last moment.
And follows up with a great loop on that serve, just really very slightly drifting half long.
No hesitation. For any Nigerian fans, might remind you of Atanda Musa with that great over-the-table loop. So well respected among African table tennis.
think it's just a part of the way that they've played. I mean, if you look at Ojo and Quadri Aruna, they just generate so much power over the table.
It's almost like if you can't do that stroke, you're not national team
not gonna
material.
make it, yeah.
And they all have that power. Aruna especially. You check on YouTube against some of his highlight points, especially against Jung Ji Ko when he was playing in the World Cup and running balls down. Just great power. The green rubber, definitely with the Nigerian flavor.
Mateo, of course, himself, 2019 African men's singles champion. Of course, you can visit MLTT's website. Plenty of merch. It's been good to see some people showing up here with, particularly when the Bay Area Blasters have been playing here.
I expect the evening match to have a whole host of junior players. Coach Maggie Tan bringing the Blasters against the Texas. Oh, look at that shot. I mean, that's just great shot making. I mean, a 1-2 punch in your face. The amount of speed and spin on that backhand off the table.
Fabiola Diaz putting her hand up straight away there. This time Kole was ready for it, but how great is Amateo playing at that distance?
You just see Kole lifting up the spin.
And Rachel Sung puts a full stop at the end of that sentence.
Just great forehand attack.
Look at the leg work that went into that.
You can just see Kole setting up his partner to have a full swing.
Hands in the air from the Portland bench.
Every game counting. Again, teams will switch at 5. So the order we just saw will finish up the game.
Tightly contested second game there, won by Kole and Rachel Sung. We really saw some big power elements coming in from Amateo, but Kole just remains just a stable core of this partnership. Rachel Sung stepping her game up there in the second, I think that made a big difference as well. We'll see how this combination works here in this third game.
Looks like Kole is going to try to force the action a little bit more. Amateo is so good at counterattacking. Those backhand pips are nasty.
Just absorbs any pace. I mean, Rachel opened pretty slow and steady, but came back even weirder for Ko. Right now, Seattle Spinners, Amateo and Diaz in control of the situation here. 4-0.
That ball popped just a little higher than Fabi would have liked it.
missing that high ball opportunity. The players will switch ends. Seattle Spinners leading 5-1. Coming up right next after this match, we'll go back to the singles. Tyrese Knight, Barbados modern defender, taking on Andre Lapeck from the Czech Republic.
1-5.
So a mix of styles and international players.
1-6.
Right now it's
Rachel not looking very happy at all.
Ole puts it away.
And Omatayo says to himself afterwards, nah, I don't think I should be pushing these balls deep. Better off flipping it.
So Portland again making some late moves here.
You can see Cole keeping the ball to the forehand side.
Right. 6-3.
Fabi not wanting to have Rachel deal with that change of spin off of the pimpled rubber.
Portland
getting things almost back to level here. Shows you how much the change in sides and changing order can make in a doubles, especially a mixed doubles.
Rachel did a much better job moving the ball around and getting into a backhand. No, Omatayo, his forehand is so lethal, as well as his serve return.
It's actually been interesting to see Rachel's first opening has actually been more effective against Omatayo than it has against Diaz. 6 points each. Just
7-6.
ridiculously quick hands. Cole's been able to neutralize everything that Omatayo has thrown at him. That's just flawless. Against a serve, I mean, there's more power on that flip than most people's forehand in this league.
Rachel has to be careful on her serve.
That backhand flick is just...
6-9.
And Omatayo knows it. He knows that he can attack any serve. Just can he keep Cole from bringing his forehand in?
And again,
10-6.
Just took over.
just what can you do about that? He's hitting one corner and then hitting the other, and crazy pace. 10 points to 6. And Omatayo gets the ball where it needs to go. 11-6. It's going to be the Seattle Spinners pair that take the advantage here, 2-1. Big result against a team that played so incredibly well last night against the Bay Area. But like Cole said, their opponents then hadn't played with each other before. This Seattle Spinners team are very familiar with each other. And we're going to have an interview with really the man of the match there. Jide, some outstanding backhand flicks from you.
Yeah.
What is your focus when you're receiving serve? Obviously, you're being very aggressive, but how do you generate so much power on your backhand flick? You have more power than some people's forehand loops.
Actually, we played against them the last 2 weeks ago, so I knew already that Cole makes like an easy serve in order for his opponent to play good. So today I was only practicing backhand flip, and at the end of the day, it worked for me. So I'm really happy about that.
You know, we saw those great backhand flips, but they all generally get set up by your forehand. And as an African champion, all I could think of were some of the highlights from the old days of Atanda Musa with your forehand. You generate so much power. Where does it come from?
I'm going to say genetics, and also our technique in Africa is quite different. So, yeah, we have the power, so why not use it on the table?
That's absolutely true. Going into this match, obviously for the team, this is a big result. You guys played really well last night. How important is it for you to keep going through this weekend and try and push through to the top of the table?
Actually, everybody has been saying that we are the underdog. So, yeah, we have something to prove here, and I'm so happy that, yes, we won yesterday, and today we are doing good. So we'll see how it goes. Well,
keep it going and keep showing us those amazing backhand flicks and forehand loops.
Yeah,
a great performance, and we'll see you in the Golden Game.
Thank you very much.
I think they've solidified their position right now in MLTT as the doubles team to beat. Just really working well, taking advantage of both strengths with Fabi's backhand and then Omatayo having both forehand and backhand success.
So Tyrese Knight out here for his second day in a row. Andre Lapeck making his first appearance this weekend. Tyrese, a bit of a rocky performance yesterday, losing out to Aditya Godwani, who he'd beaten on their first contest with each other. And then also struggling in the Golden Game with Lily Zhang. A lot of it really came down to decision making, I feel. You know, he's a player that's very versatile and really has both aspects, the defensive play and great attacking prowess, but just struggled to make the right shot selections or decisions at the right time. So we'll see what he can do against Lapeck. I mean, the Czech Republic is a country that has an incredible depth of high-level players. Not necessarily the top players in Europe, but across their top 100, 120, the level is really even. So there's certainly players that are no stranger to this level of competition.
And I think, Matt, as you watch Lapeck play, keeps his racket really high, so he loves topspin. It'll be interesting to see if Tyrese Knight can force him into looping a heavy underspin ball, if he can sustain the loops, or if he'll go for a push and try to bring Knight in to counterattack. Definitely Lapeck's form is slightly different. Strokes are a little bit more geared against topspin.
Lapeck struggled a little bit in their last encounter between Portland and Seattle, playing against Isaac Ortiz, and losing out 3-0 in that match.
So that's where I think Knight can pose some problems. He can get some nice deep chops on the ball. I don't know if Lapeck is going to be able to back up or get underneath it.
Knight off to a better start today, finding the range with his forehand. Lapeck using a towel break. Every 6 points, the players can take a towel break. Can be very important for setting the rhythm of the match. Particularly against defensive players where you don't want to feel like you're rushing too much. Those towel breaks can be super important.
Just great times to regroup and also to catch your breath if you've had to loop 4, 5, or 6 balls in a row.
Knight picking up that half-long serve. See the Texas smash in the backhand corner, the back corner. It's an empty corner right now. Tyrese Knight just swinging the ball into it. between the two of them. 5-5. The score here. Lapeck just wiping his racket and the ball with the towel. Don't want any moisture at all on either of those.
So if Knight is able to really keep it low, keep it short, mix up the spin, we know he's got a good forehand that he can finish it on a weak ball. The question is, can he work the point to get to it? Right now, Lapeck has been scoring a lot of points directly into the backhand chop. Nice change of spin serve there by Knight. Again, mixing it up. Again, if you're going to loop a big ball, you got to be ready to follow it. You can't be jammed by a soft block. These are big points right here. Paddlers trying to get back within striking distance. Seattle trying to create some space going into the golden game.
Brilliant defense there from Tyrese Knight.
7-8. All.
8 points each. Tyrese feeling a bit of pressure, and there's Tyrese's mother in the top right of the stand. She just came in today, I think. One of her first times visiting here while he's training out in California.
8-9.
Tie things up at 9 points each. Oh, amazing defending there from Lapeck.
Just holding the backhand corner. Knight hitting his paddle. Lapeck just taking it straight down the line to get to game point.
Almost have to wonder if Knight stepped around too early. Big counter rally. Knight stepping up the offensive. Certainly comfortable in a situation where he has a bit more time. Keeps it tight and gets the job done.
Great service choice. Short to the forehand. Lapeck running over to play a backhand. Really left the whole table open.
He'll be relieved to get that golden point in his favor. Yesterday, match with Godwani, the two were tied 1-1 and 10-10. Knight held the serve and made a service error.
And it looked like on that last shot by Knight, he just gave himself enough position to where Lapeck had to respect both sides. Where the previous ball that he ripped to the backhand, it's almost like he didn't look to see where the opponent was and just hit it as hard as he could.
I mean, one of the things that's playing well in the favor of Knight is that Lapeck's not really killing the ball. So he has a little bit more time, and the pace is not too uncomfortable for him. For Lapeck, I mean, it gives him reasonable control, but at the same time makes it difficult for him to hit winners or to put the ball away. And I think in those forehand-to-forehand counter situations, Tyrese almost has the upper hand.
He does. He really does. You don't see Lapeck's first
Portland
loop
and
either,
Seattle.
although Tyrese has missed a
Time's up.
couple. You don't see Lapeck's first loop really getting up on top of him to where he could go in with a stronger second one. It's more of a controlled spin.
Yeah, and that kind of, it's almost a little bit linear because there's no changes in depth. Tyrese is able to kind of stay on that consistent distance from the table rather than having to move in and out.
Right, exactly. He's not. The depth is huge when you're playing against a defensive player.
Yeah.
They don't mind the heavy shot side to side. It's just when you drop it short and then loop to the other side. That ball's so heavy when Tyrese is chopping it.
Again, great defending. And Lapeck just not able to put the ball away.
Yeah, and I almost say, Matt, that those type of forehand loops are more technique-based. His racket is so high going into the ball. You've got to use a lot more legs, like Collet does, or even Andrew Sau, just driving through it with your legs versus using more upper body.
And this time we've certainly seen Lapeck dropping the ball a little bit more, so he is trying to work Tyrese in and out from the table as well.
But I do like on that last chop that Tyrese did, basically a no spin chop. Very difficult to drive those. You're going to have to really pay attention. So if Tyrese starts mixing up the spin, at least when he's chopping, and then pulling in the forehands, but Lapeck, great position into the body.
Tyrese just puts the ball away.
Lapeck has to loop that serve. He can't just return it. Going for the backhand serve over on the forehand side.
Knight just unloading here. It's a difficult position to be in when you're the offensive player and you're playing a defender who has a more aggressive game than you.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling ever. Why can't he just chop a couple balls? He can always push it. But Lapeck knows he's got to get the ball to the middle. Usually he'll get topspin fishing returns. Knight knows that if he is in that position, he can get into a counter looping rally by just getting one more ball back on the table, whereas to chop those are very difficult.
You'll often see Tyrese flipping his racket as well. You get more rotation when the ball's dropped. Sometimes if it's a float ball, it can be, you know, if you use the long pips to push, you can't generate any spin. So you see Tyrese flip over to the smooth side.
It just looked like Tyrese right throughout that point kind of just stopped moving. I know he's thinking probably more offense than most defensive players. Talking to Coach Christian Villarus, he was like, you know, I really consider him an offensive player that chops versus a defensive player that has a big forehand. There's a little bit of both. Just can't miss the easy balls.
That's just, there's not really much you can do with that. I mean, against a defender, you have a little bit of comfort in making those slow spinning openings, but when that defender comes out swinging at your first opening like that,
that was a nice dead chop there by Tyrese. And that really makes it tough for Lapeck to do anything with that, especially if the ball's low when he's trying to loop it.
Just misses the edge, but swings a little 360 in there. The crowd enjoyed that.
Trying to make our top 10.
I like to think that people are fighting for my commentator's pick. But I would say that. Speaking of top 10, of course, these are highlights posted on Major League Table Tennis's Instagram at Major League Table Tennis. If you're not following there, it's a great place to see some behind the scenes training footage, different content of different players from different teams. Get plenty of variety there. Team doing a great job of stepping up the social media game. Just mistiming some of these forehands. Just see the weight transfers not always necessarily there. Sometimes the ball's being caught pretty late.
Tyrese has to make those easy bumps with his backhand. Offensive players love it when the choppers miss easy balls. And right now, not a time to take a mental break. So close to the finish line.
You can see quite early when he moves in, the backswing starts. Gives a signal to Lapeck, and you can see he'd already started backing off towards the forehand corner. And we saw yesterday Tyrese typically coming in for those big swings and hitting cross court, where unfortunately for him yesterday in the Golden Game, Willie Jung was waiting with some
amazing blocks.
Yeah, unbelievably sharp blocks and counters.
Just using the speed and tempo against Tyrese, although he did score the 4th and final point in that last set of 4, but Lily came out and really, when the Blasters needed those 3 points.
Definitely going to be looking for some redemption today, and I think really for him he's got to win 3-0 here to put himself back in the team's good books.
Yep.
He'll take that game point. 11-8 the second game. Tyrese Knight just dominating proceedings here so far against Andre Lapeck. Lapeck just struggling to, I don't know if it's even find the right strategy, but just finding difficulty with his forehand.
Almost seems like he's a little worn out. He's mentally having issues on choosing, should he keep the attacks going? I mean, he had a couple balls where he looped it, Tyrese brought it back, and he was like forced to push it, but still off the table doing that, versus a player who plays good against defense would play a lot of forehands in a row.
You can see some of those forehands here from Knight, getting just incredible power on those forehands.
Like that one so far from the table, pushing.
And typically against a defender, you've got to use that extra time. When somebody's playing chop against you, you use the extra time, you build up the power, the weight transfer. And it's a little surprising for me to see him contacting the ball so late against somebody who's playing slower on defense.
Yeah, if Cole was out there playing, you'd see only forehands. He'd have no reason to challenge jump. He would never play backhand. Right now, Knight is running the table. That's a good loop right into the elbow.
1 love.
Lapeck quick to back off the table. And Tyrese just hooking the ball around here. Bit Ho Ying Chow-esque.
Exactly.
Not quite as hooky, but almost. Lapeck actually had quite a nice chance there if he waited a little bit longer to try and sling it around the net. That would have made the top 10.
Oh, that was just beautiful. You saw him, once he loaded it up, that he was running in before the push even existed. And if Lapeck is in that situation, just push it deep. Don't try to read the spin and just lift it. Put something on it so that re-loop doesn't exist.
You can see technique-wise, like you said about body weight transfer, there's no push from under the ball. It's kind of a pull from the shoulder. It's not quick enough to create enough topspin.
I was going to say, if Lapeck keeps pushing the ball, Tyrese is going to pick one of those.
This time, finally puts it away.
Tyrese wants to play his forehand on a step around whenever possible. Likes to take it cross court, but can play it down the line if he's there early enough.
Set. 4-1.
Lapeck just takes the serve and pushes it deep to the backhand. He should get a chance to start his forehand attacks.
2-4.
I mean, one of the things for Lapeck, I know Tyrese has had really great placement with his forehand this round, but I feel like he backs off the table so quickly. And when you're playing a defender, if they attack, you've got to get your racket up, stay close to the table, and just redirect the ball. Try and push them back onto the defense. I think the more he steps back, the more chance it is that Knight stays on his forehand and just keeps compounding and doubling down.
And these are the points right here where you don't want to lose 3 or 4 in a row. Tyrese needs to change the spin, maybe play a little bit more offense, at least move the ball around.
Again, struggling against the defense. Positioning and timing a little bit off.
Five-three.
So 5-4, still the lead for Tyrese Knight. He's got 2 games under his belt already. Again, he'll be looking for that 3-0.
Oh, great serve.
4-6.
Tyrese has been serving a lot with his backhand short to the forehand. That time he sent it out deep, cross court.
Oh, wonderful counter-attack from Knight. He really hasn't been pressured much. You can see him, you know, he's happy to sit back from the table, fish around the ball a little bit with his forehand and just wait. And he set those forehand counters up so incredibly well throughout this match.
Let Broadway pick up the ball. 4-7.
And this time Lapeck making a pretty bold move to try and punch the ball into the forehand corner, but not quite making it. Next matchup on deck, the singles for Jiwei Xia against Olajide Omateo. Control spinner Jiwei against the powerful Omateo. A great matchup to round off these individual matches going into the Golden Game. And look at the ground covered between that hooking
Some
forehand.
frequent flyer points there. Tyrese was all over the court.
Star Alliance gold. It's going to set up a bunch of game points. You won't get the first one. Nice service variation from Lapeck. And he misses. Tyrese takes it 3 games to 0. A big result for the Portland Paddlers.
Very bold statement by Tyrese Knight, bringing the heat both on the defensive and offensive fronts to bring Portland back to even at 6-all. To see 2 big hitters with Ji-Wei Shaw, a little bit more control. But
Tyrese is going to be happy with that after yesterday. A bit of redemption for Tyrese Knight, and as usual for the rest of us, a very entertaining match. There's Tyrese's mother. She's smiling down, and we're going to have a little chat with Tyrese. Tyrese, congratulations, a great performance from you. How important was it for you? I mean, yesterday you had a little bit of struggle in some of your matches. How important was it for you to get out here today and kind of redeem yourself a little bit with the team to get this 3-0 win?
Yeah, it was tough yesterday. I just didn't feel myself yesterday. Today I just saw that we were down today, and I said my game is very important, and 3 points for us will be great. And now it's 6-6, so hoping Ji-Wei can pull through for some more points on the table.
And it seemed in that last match, Tyrese, one of the things you were able to do is mix up the serves, not just do the same backhand short serve, but some deep to the backhand. Give Lapeck a lot of different looks that he didn't seem comfortable at all with.
Yeah, normally I'm serving forehand and looking for the attack, but this time I said I have a great backhand serve that I don't normally use, so I said why not use it more now, and many people are having trouble with the backhand serve, so yeah, that's why.
And you seem to be more aggressive out there today, but also some great defense mixed in. Was that on your mind going into the match, or was that something you kind of decided as the match progressed that being aggressive was paying off for you a lot better in this match today?
Yeah, that was something I decided for. You know, I said he's not so great against the chop, so I said let's mix it up a little bit. Not always same, because every time I go to his corner, he always go 1, 2, you know. And I said I need maybe attack first ball sometimes to his middle or backhand, but yeah, that's it.
Well, a great performance and a fantastic 3-0 win, Tyrese. Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in the Golden Game.
Thank you.
So before we get to that Golden Game, as we said, it's 6-6 here between the Portland Paddlers and Seattle Spinners. Ji-Wei Shaw will take the table for Portland. Olajide Omateo for the Spinners. A style matchup clash here between great control and countering from Ji-Wei against the power we saw in the doubles from Omateo, those backhand flicks, power loop forehands over the table.
You know, Matt, I think it'll be very interesting in this matchup with Omateo serving. What has worked so well for Ji-Wei is the drop shot off the serve. To be able to set his offense when the opponent's serving and to get that first spin in. The problem is, Omateo's his forehand re-loop is so solid that he can take any ball especially the slow ones, and just re-rip them. So Ji-Wei's going to have to mix it up, put a little bit more pressure, and not just a slow spin.
Ji-Wei has had a bit of a tough run in the singles in these showdowns. And he faced off against Seattle the last couple of times in week 2. He had to face Nikhil Kumar, losing 2 games to 1, and then last time losing 2 games to 1 against Adi Serene. So I'm sure he would like to stamp his mark on the match, but another tough opponent for him. And
I think the highlight for Ji-Wei was taking the 2-1, and there's the heavy forehand loop by Omateo. Ji-Wei makes a nice opening loop. It's just Omateo has so much more spin on his ball. He can counterattack it with ease. But Ji-Wei beating Tao Wen-jung 2-1 was definitely the highlight, although the team did lose.
off to a 4-0 lead. The power plays overshadowing a little bit the defense, but sometimes I feel like Jiwei's a little bit slow to start because he takes some time to feel out the pace of his opponent. Jiwei's coming into the weekend 19th on the MLTT rankings.
Omotayo just continuing where he left off in the mixed doubles. There's no free points. Great placement, as we've seen so much power.
7-1.
Jiwei gets on the board. Control spin, forehand opening. Just touching the top of the net. Mateo's a tough customer to go into forehand counter loop rallies with.
2-8.
This time missing his own serve. Jiwei still quite far behind in this first set.
Net. 2-8.
Jiwei getting into it nice and steady, focusing on getting his first ball in. Mateo is taking some big risks.
Big points here for Jiwei if he wants to get back into this game.
9-4.
It's great topspin rotation on those first opening loops.
Nice misdirection there. Jiwei really moving well.
Made a great decision after those couple of loops. Had a little bit less power to kind of step into that last one.
10-6.
This time, Mateo finds his mark on the forehand counter.
Just so much spin and speed. That ball's just flying back.
You can see also that added side spin that kind of hooks into the ball, makes it even more difficult. Carries the ball wide. You can see it just dance straight in front of Jiwei's racket there and out into the great beyond. So, Origida Mateo back at the bench with Coach Luba Sadovska, Nikhil Kumar. Certainly saw a very bold and strong start from Mateo there.
Just, again, I wonder how much, having played the mixed doubles match versus Jiwei, had sat for 5 matches or 4 matches before coming out. Mateo wasted no time in getting the lead. Right now, both teams fighting to have the narrowest of margins. Look at that forehand.
Love 1.
Got a link there at the bottom for Major League Table Tennis Shop. You can get your shirt for your favorite team.
Oh, Jiwei with a little misdirection.
Great movement to get out to that step around forehand, but steady pace from Jiwei's probably a little bit too comfortable for Mateo. He's got to add more pressure. You play against someone with so much power, you don't want to give them time.
Jiwei had the slight upper hand in the backhand-to-backhand exchange, but Omataya's topspin just posing extra problems.
4-3.
And when you have a forehand as strong as Omatayo, you can do a lot with your backhand and not fear.
4-all.
I mean, Jiwei has the perfect game to neutralize some of that power, but it's about whether or not he can add enough pressure and good placement on the ball coming back.
4-5.
That was a beautiful backhand over the table flip that we saw in the doubles. Just really pinning Jiwei on the backhand.
6-4.
Nobody home on that one.
Bullseye. Jiwei creeping back. And now Omatayo forcing the backhand.
It's one of the dangerous things when you're a player who has so much power and you're playing against someone who tends to do stuff that some people might think is less, you know, a little bit underwhelming in terms of blocking and controlling. Sometimes you just don't notice them creeping back. If you're out there and
You don't
a lot
feel,
of these,
yeah, you don't feel the pressure.
yeah, these players don't really pay attention that much to the score, a lot of them. So
And there's
Boy,
the
you know.
backhand.
7-all.
scores leveled up at 7-7. Jiwei Sha looking to keep this match level for the Portland Paddlers.
Wow.
7-8.
This has shown you how tight and competitive Seattle versus Portland. 1 point differential. That ball caught the edge.
8-all.
I mean, it's so phenomenal. I know Mateo was not feeling particularly great this morning. The team were a little bit worried about whether he could recover in time. He's just come out here and
Put on a show.
you wouldn't even know. I mean, he's looking fantastic out there. And the counters just
8-9.
hitting their mark.
It just seems like when Jiwei's looping, he's looping to keep the ball on the table, and Omatayo, when he's looping, he's finishing the point. But Jiwei, 9-9.
Yeah, again, as I said, you wouldn't know necessarily from watching the flow of the match. Mateo's going for the big
Yeah,
shots.
8 winners, and the score is 9-9.
Yeah.
And Jiwei's like, as long as I can get that first spin in and you miss those.
That's the kind of play you've got to be careful playing against.
And that's exactly right there. Drop the serve, get an opening spin. Hopefully it's deep enough and let the player overplay it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just comes down to probabilities and percentages. Oh,
What a fight by Jiwei Sha to even up this match, both at 1-1, but more importantly at 7-7.
this is one thing you can say for Jiwei Sha is that even in the face of a ridiculously tough opponent, he just finds a way to pick up games. You know, even when he's lost matches, he's always come through and picked up games. He knows the importance of these points
I think
for his team.
one of the reasons is it's just so tough to get through him all 3 games. He's just, placement is solid. Openings, he places those well, moves them around. But also he's never taking crazy risks. Every time he touches the ball, he's comfortable putting that on. And when you have the power of Omatayo or even Tyrese Knight or Cole. A lot of times they go for such winners because it's fun. They like to go for the big shot, and they're not going to all land. Jiwei seems to pick up all those quick points. It's very tiring for Omataya to sustain the level of rips that he's doing.
Jiwei just focusing on that spin control, generating as much topspin as he can.
Love all.
Omataya really kind of pulled back a little bit on that last shot. The last game. He's not going to make that mistake again. Coming back in here and putting 100% commitment into his shots.
That's tough when Omataya goes wide out to the forehand. Jiwei really has to give up the entire table to re-loop that ball.
Great pickup on that first ball by Jiwei. Just drifted long. Got himself in position. Fantastic arc on the ball and topspin.
And it just hung on the backhand side knowing that he was going to get another opportunity to keep the forehand attack going.
I must say, his step around footwork is really impressive. The way he gets himself into position and low.
3-1.
I think it's a combination, being at his home club, of he plays against a robot and also pickleball.
4-1.
And he does coach quite a bit, and I know all of his students are cheering for him. And you're going to see him send the paddlers up by 1 point. Look at the power of Omataya. And now Coach Christian Lillaros is saying, let's stop that.
Time.
Had to work there to get his attention.
Be very interesting to hear what they're saying right now, because it's all been Omataya so far in this game.
This will be Portland's second timeout, their last timeout for these singles matches. Seattle still has one in the bag, just in case they needed if Jiwei was to start fighting back here. They could still use that. So they still have that at their disposal if needed.
They're looking at the Seattle coaching combo over there with Nikhil Kumar, just giving a lot of placement tips on where to set the first ball up in order to get something to work with.
Well, of course, Nikhil had played against Jiwei in week 2 and 2 very tight first 2 games, but Nikhil came through and won 11-2 in the third, so I'm sure he has some tactical ideas of...
Yeah, and they've played a number of times at the US Open.
Yeah.
And I think possibly in the Combine.
Looks like the Bay Area Blasters have showed up, the home side.
So you always want to come out of those timeouts with a quick point. So credit Coach Christian Lillaros.
Just ripe for the picking for Omataya.
When Omataya can get a good read on where that opening loop's going, he is so fast. And then you just look at the speed of the stroke.
I think also one thing that plays into his favor is he's able to make such amazing racket adjustments on the fly. Sometimes you'll see him kind of hook the angle or close the angle mid-stroke. So just great feeling for how to control those counters.
Jiwei once again, that 1-2 combo, first to the elbow, and then getting that second one even wider to the backhand. It's not an easy angle to create.
Out of the body, Jiwei sending that that ball long. Mateo coming in with that backhand flick again. Jiwei's putting it all on the line here in this third game.
The match I also want to see coming up in Rock Hill, Mateo against Ojo. That definitely would be the most power.
Fireworks. I can imagine some pretty interesting matchups, maybe like Kasuharu and Koyo.
Exactly. And I know that Kole has played against Enzo and gone 5 games in the past. So
yeah, and I've seen him Enzo up 3-0 before, and Kole came back and won 4-3. Had some crazy close matches. Oh, gets it down the line. Jiwei was looking like he was preparing for a step around there.
Of course, having the ladies play, especially in the golden game. Maddie, Matilda Ekholm. Always fun to see.
Oh,
Jiwei finishing with the backhand. They're just fighting so hard for every single forehand.
It's the most aggressive play we've seen from Jiwei Sha. No better time for it than here in these clutches of the third game.
And getting those, I'm not going to call them cheap points, but it's forcing Omataya to try to go for a shot that really isn't there based on the speed and the depth of the ball, but he's trying to force it in with heavy topspin.
And the Seattle Spinners will call the timeout, and they did have one left, and they're going to use it now. And I just had said during the last timeout they would need to potentially use it if Jiwei came back. Mateo had a pretty comfortable 5-1 lead when they swapped sides. Jiwei is just going for broke out there.
He's making wise decisions when to attack and when just to focus on placement and taking some pace off the ball. And it's not who can only hit it the hardest, but who can force the opponent into bad decisions.
And going back to this conversation about the cross division, one of the things that I'm interested to see, I know Hong Lin has been such a big player against the other female players in the Golden Game on the East Coast. Coming across here for the cross, you're going to have players like potentially Lily or Amy.
Rachel.
Yeah, lots of...
and Fabi as well. I mean, somebody who's winning the biggest point. And that's the beauty of the Golden Game. For the players that are playing in the doubles only, they're still center court. Heavy opening. Jiwei able to get the first loop in. This is a supreme battle right here for the Great Northwest.
Jiwei just taking a moment to set himself here. And this
so
time,
smart.
it's Jiwei who gets him with the counter.
And you could see Jiwei put the finger up. He planned that shot perfectly, got around it, pulled it across his body to go down the line to get 2-3 match points.
And again, we've seen on a few occasions in this match, Jiwei not quite giving himself enough space in the middle to generate that safety on the ball.
When he's stepping around the middle and the ball's dipping, there's really not much drive on it. It's mostly lift. But still 2 more.
And this time opting to stay up on the table.
And we are going for a golden point. Jiwei Sha will have the serve. Will he get the opening ball?
I'll tell you one thing, the audience here and at home love a golden point.
No deuce, sudden death.
It'll be interesting to see how much of the attack Jiwei turns up. Oh, and Mateo just swats it for a winner. That's how you win a golden point.
That is reminiscent of Ojo when he won a golden game golden point with just a forehand devastating loop kill, lined it up, measured it, and pulled the trigger.
He definitely pulled the trigger on that one, that's for sure. What a finish from Amateo. So going into this golden game, the Seattle Spinners, victory for them last night. We're going to see what they can put together with the golden game here. They're going to go into it with an 8-7 lead. That means they'll start the golden game with a 1-0 lead. We're going to take a look at some of the recaps, how Portland got to this 8-7 lead position. Cole starting out with a pretty positive and dominant performance against Nikhil Kumar. He took 2 games, almost clinching 3. Andrew Sau, Sean, what a masterclass.
Just great forehand power, controlling the table and keeping Daniel Tran in the backcourt.
Then, of course, following that outstanding display, there was the doubles. Cole and Rachel Sung, who performed so strongly throughout this competition so far, shown the exit by Amateo and Fabi Diaz, and some outstanding power shots over the table and back from the table from Amateo. Of course, that leads to Tyrese Knight. Sean, again, outstanding attack today and looking for redemption.
And those sweeps really make a difference, and we saw this go down to the final point of a great match with 2 competitors, and finally, Amateo just shutting the door.
We're going to go down to the commissioner.
You'll be starting with a 1-point lead.
Teams.
Coach, your player choice first. Playing 3 points. Jiwei Shah is your first pick. Coach, say again. Olajide is your first pick, and your number 2. Andrew Sau? Andrew Sau is your number 2. Coach? Tyrese Knight is your number 2. Your number 3. Cole is your number 3. Nikhil Kumar is your 3. Number 4. Andre Lapeck is your 4. 4. Rachel or Daniel? Rachel or Daniel, please, Coach. Daniel Tran is your 4, making Rachel Sung your 5. Fabiola is your 5. Good luck, coaches.
Well, there you have it. The lineups have been chosen. You'll have a chance.
So very interesting lineups there. A lot of differences. Starting out, though, we will see Jiwei take the table against Amateo again. This time, Andrew Sau will face Tyrese. Cole and Nikhil are back up against each other again. And we have Daniel Tran facing Andre Lapeck, and then the ladies rounding off the golden game. It'll be a 1-point lead.
And this is just a continuation of the great last match.
Now, these teams will play to 21 points and substitute every 4 points, except for this first start, which will be 3.
Such a strong serve return.
Starting where he left off. Just full power, full steam ahead. Amateo looking to get his team off to the best possible start. And he won't get all 3 points. Again, Jiwei always making sure that he takes something away from the table for the team. Takes the 3rd.
Yeah, just getting that one attack in to a smart location. This is going to be interesting right here.
We're certainly going to see how the forehand power of Andrew handles Bit of modern defense.
Net, 1-3.
I don't think Andrew's going to go safe. I think he's going to put a lot of spin coupled with a lot of speed.
Oh. Phenomenal
Snap.
serve receive. Doesn't want to deal with any long rallies against the chopper. And
That was a forced ball there.
Steady backhand again from Zhao has been.
And he's taken 2 on Tyrese's serve, which this is where the sweep.
Just impeccable form from Andrew Zhao. The whip on that forehand.
Good ball placement by Tyrese Knight. Just really jamming it deep into the body.
So Kole and Nikhil Kumar back out again. They played each other in the first match. Kole winning the singles 2-1, but the Golden Game's a different beast.
Net,
Nikhil's had some difficulty in the Golden Game so far. But Kole having difficulty with his own serve.
Again, yesterday as well. Yeah, Nikhil staring at 48.6% in the Golden Game. 18 points won, 19 points lost.
You wouldn't anticipate that with
28 and 19.
Kole dumping his first serve. And now playing a nice combination. They're out to the forehand.
And Kumar is determined to keep the ball rolling for the Seattle Spinners. They're in such a good position right now.
And that time, Kumar makes the backhand loop.
A quick sorry from Kumar, and he's out the court.
And he's definitely jumping out as it catches the top of the net just by a tad.
You can see that he made it a concerted effort to just add a little bit extra to his backhand opening. Quick turnaround from Kumar. And Daniel Tran. This will be his opportunity to really contribute something strong to the team. In the Golden Game against Lapeck, he takes the first.
The more side spin Daniel Tran can put on his forehand, especially when it goes into the body.
Tran moving the ball around. Lapeck started out the point really well, but got jammed up on the step around forehand.
Great play by Daniel Tran to keep that forehand pressure on Lapeck. Looking for a sweep. Daniel Tran is no foreigner to the sweep.
You won't get it. A great serve from Lapeck.
And that keeps the 4-point lead, and the ladies.
This is still interesting position though, because Rachel Sung has had some good success herself in the Golden Game. She won't get the first though. Fabiola Diaz, she finished the Golden Game for Seattle Spinners last night, and she is continuing to make a positive impact. Interesting, Rachel opting to use the backhand on such a high ball, not step around and use the forehand. fast serve from Diaz has been a staple. There's a lot of pushing back and forth there. Opportunities to attack, but the Golden Game full of nerves, and there's some nerves there. She misses her serve again.
So that balances out the Collet's miss serve. And again,
it's been so interesting. I'd love to see some stats on this at some point. I mean,
maybe we can get Evan to check those out.
Difficult to get to, but stats on fault serves during the Golden Game.
Oh, great over-the-table loop. Ji-Wei so patient until finally the ball popped up enough to where he could get elbow and racket and down the line. Choosing the right side of the table to go to.
And Mateo putting the ball away. He's hit so many powerful backhand and forehand shots in this team match. Also shows a lot of versatility, having great control as well.
Yeah, that time kind of playing the role of Ji-Wei of putting his opponent out of position and just getting one more ball on the table.
And here comes the timeout from the Portland Paddlers. They get one timeout each in this Golden Game to 21. The Seattle Spinners currently 5 points ahead. They started with a 1-point lead and have multiplied that significantly. Of course, Portland and Seattle from their week 2 and week 4 matches are 1-1 head-to-head. On both occasions, Portland went into the Golden Game with an 8-7 lead. This time it was the Spinners that held that lead. And
looked like Christian Lilarus actually called a timeout, had the entire team standing there kind of giving a pep talk to this Golden Game is far from over. Let's get going as a team.
14-9.
Ji-Wei's not done, and he performed so well in that point back after the timeout.
That's almost like hitting one of those great forehand bombs in order to control the serve, keep it low, give the opponent nothing to work with. And now we've got two big forehand bombers, Tyrese Knight, Andrew Sau. Andrew's got to start with his racket a little bit higher if he's going to drive that ball.
And Sau just steady on the backhand.
When Sau is not attacking, he is so into keeping that ball nice and low, moving it around. Good blocking skills. And then here comes the forehand.
A big lead opening up here for the Seattle
Spinners. You can hear Nikhil Kumar on the opposite side. He knows he's going to be up against Collet next.
He's almost using the energy from his teammates on the table to get himself ready. And Knight goes for that same attempt that won him the point last time. It's a 4-point clearance for Andrew Sau, and Seattle are pulling ahead. In week 2, Portland had won the Golden Game 21-19. Last time, Seattle 21-20. It was as close as you can get. But right now, Nikhil Kumar has a huge opportunity here to seal the door closed on the Portland Paddlers. Picks up that ball off the net with great control.
Super focus for Nikhil.
And Collet dumps a second serve into the net.
And now 11 match points.
And he'll take the first one. What a decisive victory. The Seattle Spinners overjoyed. They've overcome so much today. Hagberg's injury yesterday kind of put him on the bench. Jide was out sick this morning and just came back to the table and gave it all. The Seattle Spinners have made a incredible run here in the Golden Game.
Just the captain, Nikhil Kumar, finishing up, but not enough can be said for Omateo and Andrew Sal getting the job done, both in doubles, singles, and the Golden Game.
We're going to head down to Coach Luba Sadovska. She usually gives us a nice update on her heart rate. We're going to have a heart rate check.
It's off the chart, she's saying.
Luba, a fantastic performance from the team, especially in the Golden Game. Now, obviously, yesterday you had the injury with Hagberg, and he sat out this match. But also, Olajide this morning was really not feeling great.
Yeah.
How surprised were you that he came out here and just, I mean, the way that he played out there, you would never know that this morning he was feeling so ill.
I wasn't surprised. We have a secret formula, so we fixed him. Yeah, well, he wasn't feeling well. He had an upset stomach. It could be worse, but it wasn't. So that was easier to help him than something else would be worse.
Yeah.
And talk about Andrew Sal. How big was his performance today, both in singles taking a sweep, but also sweeping in the Golden Game against Tyrese Knight?
He's becoming such a strong player for the team. I don't even know the word. Like we can count on him. Every time Andrew goes on, we know there's going to be a fight. We know there's going to be awesome rallies. That's on Andrew's game, and he's going to most likely getting better and better.
Just
more
like
confident.
He's making such wise decisions to get his forehand and set that up instead of just waiting for the action. He's taking it.
Yeah, he has the energy. He has the moves. He's expecting the balls. He's ready for the next shot. So he's right there.
And you've come through with a win yesterday and a win today. Talk to me a little bit about Nikhil Kumar and his role in the team, not just on the table, but on the bench, you know, with the advice and the energy. How important has Nikhil been in kind of knitting the team together?
Sometimes I just have to slow him down. I'm telling him it's too much, let them play. So, but he just can't stop talking. So sometimes it's just he's talking to himself. He's not even talking to the player. And I was trying to talk to Andre. I don't know if you heard that, but I was trying to talk to him in Slovak. So he was telling me what to do. I was telling him something else.
So that's your secret formula.
Yeah.
Well, a really outstanding performance and a well-earned victory 2 days in a row. Congratulations, Luba.
Thank you.
And we're going to have a quick chat with what you could really say he's the man of the hour, Andrew Sal. Andrew, great to have you back with us. A solid performance from you in the Golden Game to round off 2 days of really great performances. How are you feeling in general about your contributions to the team and how you've been able to raise the bar for your performances?
I feel like especially in the Golden Game, I clutched up like 7 points, I think. And I feel like when I'm about to play, I feel like really hyped because there's so many people watching and everyone's like standing up and stuff. So I feel really hyped. So that's when I play good, you know.
You're going to have to get yourself a renter crowd for all the tournaments you travel to and get them to do the same thing.
You know, Andrew, also, it seemed like even when you're not attacking, your blocks have been so piercing. You put so much pressure behind the ball. It just adds constant pressure to your opponent. Are you thinking when you're not attacking that you're still on the offense?
Sometimes I just react to it, and the ball hits my racket, I just react to it. And then, like, one ball I pushed long to his forehand, and then he looped, and then my hand was here, so I'm ready for everything.
So the training's really paying off with the reflexes. Andrew, an outstanding performance 2 days in a row. We're looking forward to seeing what you bring tomorrow, and hopefully you have a good celebration for a really well-played match.
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
So the Seattle Spinners just making an outstanding performance there in the Golden Game. You can see they're 5-3 on Golden League wins and losses, taking them to the top of the table with 89 points with the Portland Paddlers trailing. But, of course, the Bay Area Blasters will take on Texas later. So the Blasters are still well within striking range. Texas Smash have some work to do. Interesting to see the singles win-loss rate. It's actually the Portland Paddlers who are out on top, and great in the doubles as well, but the golden game is costing them a little bit. And again, as we said, Andrew Sau, just a brilliant competitor. You can see the fieriness that he brings to the table.
And again, we've got to talk about the doubles play of Seattle, just really working well. And Omotayu, spin, power, precision, and really just going for the ball on every attempt.
Yeah, a really outstanding performance, and just to see a golden game after a couple of really close golden games last night. This one a little bit more one-sided, but full credit to the Seattle Spinners. An outstanding match, and of course we'll be back at 7:30 Pacific time with the Texas Smash taking on the home favorites, the Bay Area Blasters. And really outstanding matches so far. Don't miss out. Make sure you come back and join us. And from me and Sean O'Neill, we'll be back later. Thanks for joining us.